What's going on, everybody? I'm Logan. Welcome back to the Rise and Vape Show. So yeah, I figured I'd start out with a little ASMR for you. I don't know if that tickled your fancy or whatever, but there you go. That's the best I've got. That's the best ASMR I can do. Anyways, yeah. Welcome. Hey, how's it going? How's everybody been? We didn't have a show last week. I know last week for me got absolutely insane. But I did manage to get a review out last week, but last Sunday was just crazy. I ended up putting like 7 or 8 hours into my Jeep just doing brakes. And then Monday, me and my girlfriend went out for our 5-year anniversary. We went up to the mall, we went out to the melting pot to get some food. All in all, it was a really great day. And then by the time Tuesday rolled around, I was like, do I really want to do like a makeup Rise and Vape show, or do I want to get back onto some reviews that I have to do, and that was the route that I took. So hopefully this week we can get into some more reviews, start out fresh with a show this Sunday, and carry on from there. So yeah, that was my week last week. It was pretty crazy. News and advocacy has been wild this week, so I just picked one article that came out to go over that kind of touches base on a lot of things that have been going on, I guess, the past 2 weeks, actually, since we've had a video. So that part should be pretty good, but it's not going to cover everything I initially wanted to cover in the past 2 weeks, but we're going to do our best. Yeah, I figured, you know what, let's go over what I've been vaping. And I've got kind of a cool thing that happened this past week, too, so we'll talk about that. Start right off with, whatever pod I'm usually vaping is what I start with, and that's still the E-Leaf Elvin. Love, Humble Salts. Good stuff right there. Strawberry Patch. This replaced that Vaporesso Nexus, which I've been using for a long time. Yeah, the only thing that I still wish was a little different is I just wish the mouthpiece on these pods was a little more tapered. Other than that, this is a great device. Yummy stuff. Good stuff. I had a review go up on the Berserker 1.5. I've been spending a few weeks with this atomizer, this tank, and I absolutely love it. I love it. I can't get enough of this tank. I've got it loaded up with some tobacco from my local vape shop. They whipped me up some really nice, kind of bold, rich tobacco. Shout out to RW Vapors. One of the reasons why I really love this tank is one, the mouthpiece. It's very cigarette sized, I guess, is the best way to put it. Like, that mouthpiece feels like a cigarette in the corner of my mouth. And I'm a laborer. I do landscape construction, fence construction, patios, block work, all that stuff. And when I used to smoke, I had a really bad habit of smoking is the bad habit, right? But I had this habit of just kind of hanging a cigarette, in the corner of my mouth and just working. So that way I had to use both my hands, and you're just kind of puffing away all day long. Well, I find myself with this just kind of chilling with it right in the corner of my mouth and just puffing on it. And it's such a satisfying thing to me because it reminds me of smoking a cigarette like that. And then you load it up with some delicious tobacco, and it's just great. It's so satisfying. It's so good. Berserker 1.5 from Vanny Vape, sitting on top of the Aegis 100. 13 watts. This is day 4 on this 26650 at 13 watts. Day 4. Just under half the battery left. I'm going to see if I can go a whole week on one battery in this device. That's my goal. People knock the Aegis, man. Get the legend. Dual 18650. Well, if you want a durable mod that you're going to run low wattages on for long periods of time, that guy right there. Also, pretty much a standard anymore. I've got a Wasp Nano coming that I think might take the place of the Dead Rabbit on top of this Tesla, but we're still rocking the Dead Rabbit on the Tesla 3. Loving every minute of it. Got it loaded up with one of Twisted Timmy's aliens that you're probably not going to be able to see down in there, but take my word for it, it's fantastic. The crackle is phenomenal. Timmy's aliens have what I like to call that rolling thunder crackle. It's just that real deep, constant, like, just crackling. Just real low, deep crackling, like rolling thunder. Absolutely love it. If you guys, again, are not following Twisted Timmy's Coils on Instagram, please do. Go hit him up about some aliens, because, man, they are phenomenal. Which reminds me, Timmy, I got to get a hold of you about some aliens, because, again, they're phenomenal. And the last thing I've been vaping on this week is this pretty fella, which we'll have a review this week coming up. Hopefully either tomorrow or Tuesday. I'm looking at getting the review done and out for this, but this is the TVL and Revenant Delta. I'm not a fan of Rainbow, just so you guys know. I did not buy this device. I was contacted by Marina Vape Club on Instagram about this device and a bottle of juice that I had apparently won somehow, in some way, shape, or form. I don't enter giveaways on Instagram. I never have. I don't ever plan on entering a giveaway, so I don't know if my name got thrown in the hat somewhere along the lines and I won. But yeah, I don't enter giveaways. I don't do the giveaway thing. I actually have a video on my Instagram promising my followers that I'm not going to bombard their timelines with giveaway posts, because that's what you have to do. You have to repost, you have to tag a bunch of people and like follow all these accounts. And I don't get into any of that. I don't. But it was cool that I won one somehow anyway. I've really been enjoying this vape. This is a really solid device. I'm not going to give you guys a whole lot to go off of right now. You're going to have to wait for the review. But yeah, so yeah, I had it loaded up with Delta all week, which ironically it was pretty cool because this is one of my favorite juices of all time. Liquids. Favorite liquids of all time. They sent me the 3 milligram. I asked them if they'd send me a 6, and they sent me a 3 anyway. And it's the salts. I guess this is a 3 milligram salt. And yeah, it's smooth, but I also generally use 6, so 3s for me are always a little less throaty anyway. So for me to tell you the difference between the 3 milligram freebase and the 3 milligram salts, I wouldn't be able to tell you the difference. I wouldn't be able to tell you how much smoother this is. So far, it's been great. I've been loving it. Yeah, I don't have it loaded up in here right now. This is all dry and ready to go right now for our liquid tasting, which is coming up next. But I had it loaded up. I've got one of their Tricor Fuse Claptons that comes with it installed just to see how it ran, you know, as a kit, which I like to do a lot of times. Most of the time I use the coils that are included. I didn't with the Berserker in my last review just because I really wanted to put a simple round wire build in for mouth to lung. That's the way that I prefer it. I like to be right around an ohm for mouth to lung, you know, 1 to 1.2. And the coils that they give you with that atomizer are like 0.7, so I wasn't really feeling that. Blah, 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 blah. Words, Logan, come on. Yeah, that's it for what I've been vaping on. Yeah, and I don't know if you guys noticed, trim the beard down. Yeah, it was getting a little crazy. It was getting a little wild. It was getting a little out of hand. Nothing wrong with a long beard. I appreciate everybody out there who grows there. This is a random rambling. Let's try that again. And yeah, I don't know if anybody noticed, but I trimmed the beard up a little bit. By a little bit, I mean a lot of it. This is how I usually start my I guess seasons, if you will. I work a crap ton between, you know, through the spring, summer, and fall. Typically right around 55 hours, 60-hour weeks, stuff like that. So my videos, probably beginning next month, are going to be a little bit more infrequent, I suppose. We'll always try our best to get this video up every single week, but reviews that happen during the week might become a little bit more scarce. So you'll probably see over the course of, the next 2-3 weeks, me pumping out more reviews, getting some more stuff out there as best I can, as quickly as I can, along with, having 2 kids, family. So we're going to do our best to get videos still out regularly, but as a, full disclosure, they might be a little bit more scarce. But yeah, the beard, as far as my work goes, outside all summer long, I like to start the year out a little bit shorter so I'm not sweating right out of the gate. It gives me a little bit of time to adjust as the weather warms up. My beard will grow back out. Don't worry, it's not gone. I promise, it's still here. I was gonna go for like the Gimli thing, like the dwarf Lord of the Rings, big braids and like big beard, but that gets hot, man. It gets hot, real quick. And yeah, when you work outside in the middle of August when it's 100 degrees, it's tough. It's a lot of extra heat that you don't need. Probably this week I'm hoping to have the Delta review up, and I would also probably by the end of the week like to try to have a topside review done as well, and possibly the goat. Those are some of the things that I'm waiting on. Just kind of doing the review. I'm ready to do the review. I just have to sit down and physically do the review and shoot it and edit it and get it posted for you. But that's what's coming up. And yeah, I guess you guys ready to do a liquid tasting? I'll get Becky out here. We'll do the liquid tasting. This week it's gonna be some coffee. Still got bun problems?
It is what it is. Don't touch it.
All right, everybody. Welcome back to another Rise and Vape Show liquid review with me and Becky.
Hi.
That's
Where's
Becky.
Where's the camera?
Right there. Get it. Today, our liquid is the Grind Vanilla Latte. If you've been watching the show for a while, you know that I've been on the hunt for a good coffee vape for a long time. Where did we pick this up?
We previously tried Nitro's cold brew coffee.
Yep. I feel like I had
vanilla bean. I enjoyed that, but Logan did not. So we picked this up at Wet Vapes up near the Galleria Mall in Buffalo, New York.
Buffalo.
And they had a great selection of juices there. Liquids.
They did have a great selection of liquids up there. And
hold that thought. Are you vaping on Omega right now?
I am.
So am I.
Tesla 3. Yeah.
I got the top side with the goat.
Yeah, and that's Omega. Either way, we're not here for Omega. We are here for the Grind. It says, the Grind shares a high-quality blend of bold, rich roasted coffee beans with the highest quality of e-liquid vape juice. I would prefer it if they said liquid. Ensuring a quality vape every time. And this is the vanilla latte. They say, what happens when a subtly sweet vanilla is captured by a striking full-bodied espresso in a velvety hot steamed milk? What do you think? You think it's going to be bomb? Or do you think it's going to be...
Okay, well, when we reviewed Nitro's cold brew coffee, I went into it with low expectations.
Yeah, I'm going into this with pretty low expectations.
So I'm going to take the same approach with this, because I really enjoyed Nitro's cold brew coffee. I should probably set my thing down. It smells like the syrup, like the vanilla pump syrup.
Very, very vanilla pump syrupy. Yeah.
It smells just like the pump syrup that they use.
It's very, very reminiscent of that flavor. I'm struggling to pick out little notes of coffee in there, but it's very like vanilla creamy.
All right, let's get this squonked.
Basically, I'm going to drip this, we're going to vape it, and if it stands up to, if it's a good high quality vape, if it's something we're going to keep vaping, I'll fill the bottle, we'll go from there. All right, the Grind Vanilla Latte. You want to first go on it?
Ooh. You know what? I know how much you've been looking forward to this.
I have. Literally, it's been sitting on the desk for like a week waiting for this.
Go ahead.
usually a sign that she likes it. See, I hit it multiple times just to try to get that flavor profile correct. You want to give us your thoughts?
I like that coffee aftertaste.
You like the coffee aftertaste. That's something that I was kind of leaning towards too. I really like the coffee.
It's a good flavor.
The coffee doesn't come through in the inhale or the exhale for me. I get heavy cream on the inhale. I get the vanilla on the exhale, and then the aftertaste is the coffee.
But it's such a nice coffee.
It is. This is kind of like what I was looking for in nitros. Had nitros not had all that menthol or that culotta or whatever's in that gives it that cooling effect. Because when I picked that liquid apart, I really liked the vanilla bean coffee that was in it.
Right. Yeah, that was a really good.
But it was just way too much menthol or culotta in that liquid for me. Basically, I don't know how it is for you, but for me on the inhale, it's just pure like milk, like cream, that latte, that froth milk. I get that purely on the inhale. The exhale is just this really nice kind of warmish vanilla, and then the aftertaste is where the actual kind of coffee comes through. It's subtle. The coffee is subtle, but it's nice. This is definitely
it's not overpowering. It's not like some nasty aftertaste.
Right. And it's not like
it's pleasant. It's like you just I mean, we are drinking coffee, but it tastes like you just drank coffee.
And it doesn't taste overly sweet. It tastes like a vanilla latte that you would get from a coffee shop, and not a vanilla latte that you would get from Dunkin' Donuts.
Right.
With all the extra added sugar. I'm going to give this, honestly, I'm going to give it a 4.5.
Nice.
I really like this. I just wish the coffee was just a little bit more potent. The coffee is really nice, but it's very subtle, and you almost have to look for the coffee, I think.
See, I feel different. I feel like the coffee just comes natural after.
Does it? I feel like I'm looking for the coffee, and it's not just like, oh, there's the coffee. I have to be like, oh, there's the coffee. And that right there is what's holding me back from giving it a perfect 5, because this is really, really good. The fact that I'm and that could just be me. That could just be my palate, which taste is always subjective. Anybody watching a liquid review by now should know that all taste is subjective. But for me, I'm going to give it a 4.5 just because I have to kind of like think about looking for that coffee flavor in there. It's there, but it doesn't just jump right out at me.
Right.
Everything, I get a lot of the vanilla and the cream first and foremost.
I'm going to give it a solid 4.
Okay.
I don't know if it's because I'm drinking coffee right now. I enjoy it, but I don't know if my coffee is skewing my view on the flavors. So that's why I'm going to give it a solid 4, because I think I'll try it again at a later time while I'm not drinking coffee and really be able to see how much coffee flavor I'm getting from it without having the influence of...
It's definitely a dark liquid. This is
Let me see.
This is probably, if I were to guess, I would say this is going to be a coil killing liquid. And it doesn't taste overly sweet though. It might have a lot of sweetener in it, but the coffee, the bitterness of the coffee is kind of balancing out that sweetness.
I love how I honestly don't get a big throat hit from this.
I get a little bit of one.
It's very smooth to me.
Yeah, I get a little bit of one. All right, so I gave it a 4.5. Becky gave it a 4. That is vanilla latte from The Grind. Yeah, so if you're in the hunt for a nice vanilla latte coffee vape,
that's the one.
I highly recommend it. Yeah, I'll tell you.
And
that coffee might come through a little bit stronger for you than it did for me. Either way, it's there. It's nice. The vanilla is nice. The cream tastes like a warm, like frothed cream.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't just taste like a milk or a basic cream. It actually does kind of have that frothy milk taste. I dig it. I think it's a good one. That might just be. I'm gonna have to try some of the other flavors. I know they have multiple other ones. There's like a cappuccino.
Right. There was a mocha one.
I think there was a mocha one. I don't want to tell people the wrong thing here. So there are definitely other flavors from The Grind. I plan on checking out some more of them as well. Vanilla latte just seemed like the safest bet.
I disagree.
Well, on that note, we're going to get out of here. Thanks, guys. That was a liquid review from the Rise and Vape Show with me, Logan,
And myself, Becky.
and Becky.
I was gonna say Rebecca, but nobody calls me Rebecca.
Rebecca. All right. Did you guys like that review? The Grind Vanilla Latte. I think it's really good. I already filled up the bottle. The bottle is full, loaded, ready to go. Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely kind of that coffee vape that I've been kind of imagining and wanting. So, really close, really close. Very, very good. Either way, let's move on to our last segment every week, news and advocacy. A lot of things have happened in the past 2 weeks since I put a video up. Scott Gottlieb announced his resignation from the FDA. He'll be leaving at the end of this month. And obviously, with everything else that's been going on, it raised a lot of red flags. What's going on? What's going to happen next? Well, on the 13th, what would that have been? Today is Sunday, Wednesday. Wednesday, Scott Gottlieb and the FDA unveiled their proposal to restrict flavors and all of that to curb the epidemic that we have been dealing with. And I will post the article that I'm going to read off of here from the Washington Post. So it says here, the initiative, a top priority of departing FDA Commissioner Scott Gottlieb, would limit sales of fruity and kid-friendly vaping products to stores that bar minors and have separate adult-only sections. It says online sellers must tighten age verification to curb bulk sales. We've kind of discussed in the past a little bit of this, and it's been mentioned a number of times. Basically, adult-only stores or convenience stores or other places like that sell flavored vapor products would have to have a separate area. And the only way that I can compare that is kind of like the old, I guess the old head shop policy. You walk in, your t-shirts and sunglasses and whatever is all out front, and then you would have to go through a door into the back area where a guy would card you, and you'd be able to look at all of the glass pipes or whatever. I've been in a few head shops over the course of my life, and that's what it reminds me of, is that back section is for adults only. You had to be over 18, you had to have a valid license, you had to show it to get back there to even look at anything. And then also restricting this to actual vape shops. The agency said companies that violate these conditions would be subject to FDA enforcement actions, including having their products ordered off the market. The FDA is basically going to retain the right to just take anything away that they want whenever they want. Gottlieb also moved up by 1 year to August 21, the deadline for flavored e-cigarette companies to submit their product applications for FDA approval to remain on the market. Those are your PMTAs. The sales restrictions and new deadline would apply to a vast array of e-cigarette products, including those offered in flavors such as cherry, bubblegum, and cotton candy. So originally that was 2022 that they had to submit all of their applications in by. I know a number of companies already have those in, but now they've moved that up to August of 2021 to get them finalized and approved, which this PMTA process is most likely going to kill a lot of this industry. It's absurd. Nothing has ever passed the PMTAs as far as I'm aware. It's a very unreasonable barrier that we're going to have to try to get through. Matthew Myers, president of the Campaign for Tobacco-Free Kids, said Gottlieb deserves credit for focusing attention on the epidemic of e-cigarette use by children, and a quote, FDA's proposed actions don't match his strong words, he said. A public health crisis of this magnitude demands faster and more forceful action than the steps announced by the FDA. Well, here's my issue. Basically, Matthew Myers isn't going to make any money if all the kids stop smoking, because his campaign for tobacco-free kids would be gone. And this really only ties in, and this is only relevant because e-cigarettes have been labeled a tobacco product. If e-cigarettes were not a tobacco product and all the kids stopped smoking, then Matthew Myers would be out of a job, which would be a really good thing. And we wouldn't have these problems. Freedom Works, a libertarian group, said it would fight the new policy and faulted the FDA for going after products that other, quote, developed nations have embraced as less harmful alternatives to conventional cigarettes. A number of other nations have, and we're still kind of caught in the limbo here. Why? Well, because everything's funded by tobacco sales. That's why. Gottlieb said Wednesday he's worried that youth e-cigarette use is still increasing. If the next round of federal data shows another jump, he said the FDA may have to look at taking further steps, including banning flavored pods for e-cigarettes. That would occur after his departure, but he said the administration is committed to the effort. So, yes, they are targeting flavored pods sold in convenience stores. Those would only be allowed to be sold in adult-only vape shops, as far as what I've read goes to say. And just to wrap this up as a key point, e-cigarettes are allowed on the market under enforcement discretion, meaning they have not been approved, but the agency is not moving against them. Under the new vaping guidelines, the FDA is revoking that discretion for all e-cigarette products, but saying it will prioritize enforcement actions for those sold in ways that allow minors to get access to them. We should be focusing on enforcing the laws that are already in place. I agree. Such guidelines, even when finalized, are not legally binding, but companies are expected to adhere to them to avoid conflicts with the FDA. However, the companies and other retail interests could challenge the policy in court, which we will probably most likely see. The vape industry has won in the past against the FDA back in 2009. And hopefully, I'm very confident that this industry will win again. And that's basically going to do it. So, in a nutshell, they are basically limiting convenience shops, any kind of C stores, to like gas stations and all that stuff, to tobacco mint and menthol. Still can be sold behind the counter. Any other flavors would have to sold in a back room or a separate area. Vape shops, adult only vape shops that ID when you walk through the door, those places will still be allowed to sell all their flavored products and everything that they currently sell right now. The PMTAs have been moved back a year, and that's basically it. They are definitely targeting convenience stores and pod-based systems. Closed pod-based systems are at the forefront of this whole thing from the FDA and Scott Gottlieb before he leaves. We don't hear a lot of talk in anything recently, really at all, regarding open systems and things of that nature. Arkansas, I know recently just was the first state to, I guess, acknowledge basically the difference between e-liquid and pods, closed pod-based systems. I know that their taxes that they've implemented reflect that. I want to say the pods in Arkansas are being taxed 50 cents a pod, and e-liquid itself is being taxed 12.5% or something like that, I believe. Don't quote me on that one, and I don't have the article to show you. I wish I did. I had read that recently, though. I don't know if that's true, if that's standing, if it's gone through, if it's finalized, whatever, but I did see the bill, and I did see that they had actually separated those two, so they're not just lumping it all together. They recognize that there is a difference between these open systems and these closed pods, and they're going about it the way that they feel they need to. Yeah, pod systems. Pod systems seem to be the hot ticket. The FDA and Scott Gottlieb claims that pod systems, he's threatened pod systems already. They're quote unquote, the teens' favorite thing. And I guess that's what they're targeting. They're saying, if we take pod-based systems off the market or remove them, then we would, help curb the teen use because they wouldn't have access to the pods, and they might not continue on to open systems from there. My biggest issue with that is there are hundreds of thousands of adults, especially elderly adults, that have switched to vaping that use pod-based systems like the Juul, because of their convenience, because of because of how easy it is to just pop in a new pod. We have a lot of elderly with sight problems. They don't see very well. It's very hard for them to prime a coil, install a coil correctly, all of those things. And a pod-based system for those adults is life-saving. Life-saving. And we're willing to take that away because our youth, our adolescents, one, are not being parented correctly, and two, are getting their hands on these products illegally anyway. So we have this weird thing where it doesn't matter if 14-year-olds, go out and get drunk on Mike's Hard Lemonade, which is also a flavored adult product. According to the CDC, 30% of teens have drank and 14% binge drank. So we have this dilemma here where we're allowing and basically just saying, whatever, it's okay that kids can go out and drink fruity alcoholic beverages, but the vape, the flavored vape thing, no, we got to crack that down. We got to remove it from the shelves, even though, again, flavored alcohol is in every convenience store, eye level, in all of those coolers for any kid. I mentioned once before, if I was a 14-year-old and I really wanted to go have a Mike's Hard Lemonade, who's going to stop me from walking into a convenience store, pulling one out of the cooler, going over to the corner, cracking it open? A lot of those drinks are twist off tops, and just drinking it. Yeah, it's illegal. Yeah, you would have been stealing, or I would have been stealing, or all of those things, but there's no physical barrier to stop a kid from walking in and doing that. But they're going to implement physical barriers for kids walking in to get a hold of these products. And that hurts adults as well. That hurts a lot of adults as well, because most convenience stores are just going to simply not carry them. They're not going to add on to their store or rearrange their store in a way that they can provide this separate area. Most convenience stores are just going to stop carrying them. And now you have all of these adults that rely on these products, and that's their only place to get them. Now they're out of luck. None of it's right, These are products that are safer. These are products that are helping save lives. But because the government isn't getting their tobacco money, we are willing to basically condemn generations of people, adults, everyone, to cigarettes by making it harder to have access to these products. And that's wrong. It's very wrong. I think the ultimate answer is education, enforcement of current laws, and parents parenting. Parents parenting would be great. That's what we need. We need more of that. We need more parents actually parenting their kids, and less time on their phones tweeting about how bad e-cigarettes are. Just parent your kids. You worry about your kids. Worry about your own kids. I worry about my kids. I don't worry about other people's kids. Their job to parent them. Not mine, and it's not yours. And it's definitely not the government's. It's definitely not the FDA's job to parent your kids. That's it. That's all I've got today. We did the thing. We were here. We made the video. I'm going to edit the video, and then I'm going to post the video, and then I'm going to relax. What a great Sunday. And I'm going to spend it with this vanilla latte loaded up in this awesome Revenant that I wish wasn't rainbow. But, I really feel like I should just load this thing up with cotton candy before cotton candy is gone. I feel like I should, though. It looks very cotton candy. Cotton candy? Cotton candy-y? Cotton candy-ish? If you want to check me out on Instagram or on Twitter, it's at Logan Exhales. And please go join CASAA, CASAA.org, for all your calls to action. Figure out what's going on in your area as far as legislation is concerned. Sign up, get the updates, get involved. Guys, be involved. The more people that we have involved, the stronger we are. The more of a case we can put forth. So get involved. Even just joining is free. All you need is an email, and even just you joining ups that number, ups the number of supporters, and makes the case that much better. I'm gonna get out of here. This has been the Rise and Vape Show. I'm Logan. I appreciate you guys from the bottom of my heart and lungs. If you like this video, if you want to see more week to week, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, push all the buttons. If you don't like it, push the thumb down. Let me know. Tell me how much it sucked so I can make it better. And I'll see you guys next time. Let's keep on vaping. If you want to check the show out,